So if you're watching this market and you're thinking, what in the world is happening? You're not alone. This week was crazy. So let's unpack the three biggest drivers right now behind this market and how you can stay ahead of all the chaos. So my name is Eric Hamilton. This is my YouTube channel where we take and provide data-driven analysis to help you better understand what's really going on in the market. I am a top 1% originator in the US. And the focus of this channel is helping more people make informed decisions regarding purchasing a home. April is prime time for buyers right now, but this spring is a little bit different. We've had tariffs, we've had stock market volatility, we've had rising mortgage rates that has created this perfect storm. And consumers are really unsure right now on what to do next. So first and foremost, what we want to do is we want to talk about mortgage rates. So this week has been one of those weeks where we've seen massive mortgage rate volatility. And this is not normal. The moves we've seen this week have been unprecedented and stuff that I haven't seen since COVID and some other big time market events. And as a consumer, it's hard to digest. You're hearing one thing, the news media, it's all these things are out there that create a lot of uncertainty. Okay. So mortgage rates right now from a week ago today until today, today's, the 11th of April, we've seen almost a full point swing in mortgage rates. We've seen moves day to day, hour to hour that have caused massive volatility in quoted rates for where people are getting quoted rates. A lot of that has to do with tariffs. Tariffs, that news hitting the market is causing a lot of uncertainty, and we've seen huge moves in the stock market. That all creates massive moves in the bond market, which is affecting mortgage rates. The more uncertainty in the market causes volatility and repositioning of the market. Okay? Markets hate uncertainty. So moving forward, we will continue to see additional volatility, which creates a lot of the uncertainty for buyers, but it also creates a lot of uncertainty for the market. The market's going into a week and not knowing what news events are going to happen. That creates concern. And the market is, kind of trying to position itself ahead of any future moves in the market. And right now, anybody who tells you what's going to happen doesn't really know, because it's all dependent on how the market and China and United States react to tariffs. The second thing that's driving, kind of the chaos right now is the time of the year. So April right now is prime home buying season. You figure in March, we have a lot of people that are on spring break and traveling and doing, stuff, spending time with their families on spring break while kids are out of school. They get back in April, and typically this is what really kicks off. We see a lot of listings hit the market. You have, a lot of buyers that are re-engaged. In the last 2 weeks, application data and application pace has been very strong. We have seen a huge uptick. We saw it all the way dating back to December and January, but more so over the last couple of weeks. This is the first spring following an election. Now, anytime you have an election season, people tend to want to see what happens. They're hopeful for the future. And this year is no different. And we've had massive change, especially with tariffs and everything else. So the first spring following election is typically very busy. Okay. We have a lot of pent-up buyer and seller demand. We have a lot of sellers who have put off selling because they haven't found properties yet. They have to sell and purchase, and there's nothing to buy. Easy to sell, very difficult to purchase. The other thing for this time of the year that's a little bit unique is consumer confidence. So you figure all of the news that's hitting, they're concerned about their job, they're concerned about maybe getting laid off, they're concerned about a recession, they're concerned about tariffs. All these factors are now coming into this time of the year in April are creating, this kind of chaos, not to mention all of the news. Now, the third thing is all of the inventory misunderstandings. Okay, so there's a lot of misunderstanding about inventory right now. Now, if you want to know and understand what's going on in the market, the first question in your market that you're purchasing that you need to ask your realtor, if you take anything away from this video, this is the question you want to ask your realtor. What is the inventory in 2019 in the market that I'm buying versus the inventory today? Why is that important? because the inventory in my market, where my office is, we had in DuPage County, Illinois, we had over 3,500 listings in 2019 on average that were not under contract. Right now, today, 805. So we're 77% below where we were in 2019. Why is that important? Because if rates were to go to 5% and everyone just re-enter the market and there's nothing to buy, what is that going to do to home prices? It's going to make home prices move higher. So some markets are seeing more inventory than others. You need to know and understand what your inventory levels are compared to 2019. And there's very few places in the United States right now that have higher inventories where they did in 2019. And the reason that that's important is you can have a recession, you can have high interest rates, and you can still have price appreciation if inventory is low enough. We saw price appreciation even with 8% rates. So that's why it's so important to know and understand what's going on and to have a good idea of what to have moving forward. So, let's talk about an action plan because, with all these things going on, mortgage rate volatility, timing of the year, and inventory misunderstanding, there's going to be a lot of people that put home purchasing on hold or take a step back. And that is what creates the biggest opportunity moving forward. Because as most people take a step back or they're unsure, that's when it's going to be an opportunity to get an offer accepted. Think about it this way. If rates were 5%, instead of having 2, 3, 4 offers on a property, you probably have 20 to 25. So the opportunity right now is to lock in where you are on home prices. In our area, just the first 90 days of this year, home prices went up 5.7%. Okay, so home prices are moving up in the face of all of this uncertainty and everything going on. So let's give you some things to think about moving forward. Number one, you got to get pre-approved early. Your ability to have a good experience in the market that we're in is going to depend on how comfortable you feel making the decisions you need to make under extreme circumstances. So it could be a home comes on the market, there's a lot of activity, it's in the perfect area, and you need to move forward. If you're starting your pre-approval then, it's going to be very overwhelming. The best thing you can do is slow down the process by getting your pre-approval done up front. Okay? So work with a lender like me who can provide updates daily, weekly on rates, run payments up front, run cash to close estimates, and give you all the information before you make an offer. The second thing I would say as an action plan right now is really important. I'm not going to tell you to ignore rates because it's a big part of the purchase, but you need to focus on payment, not just the sales price. In a high rate environment, smart buyers are going to focus on not how much the house is, but what is the monthly payment, and make decisions on what your comfort level is, not what a lender says or not anything else. Use payment scenarios when you shop for a home to know where your budget is and focus on payment. What I always tell my buyers is when you get your statement every single month, you're not going to look at the statement and see, oh, I paid for a $400,000 house. You're going to see that payment. And you better, every time you see that payment, be thankful that you paid attention to that and not ignore it. Focus on the payment. Number 3 thing that I would say in this market to keep an eye on is understand timing and be ready to move when others are not. Homes in the right price point are still moving fast, even if the overall activity sometimes is not as consistent as you would think. Okay? So you need to get all of your documents into the lender. You need to have everything reviewed. If your lender is not collecting your documents, not sending you payments, not getting you cash to close estimates, you need to get a new lender. Okay? Number 4 thing is you got to think long term. Okay? Rates drop, you can always refinance. As much as I hate the saying of marry the house and date the rate, if prices keep climbing due to low inventory, you will be very, very happy that you got in when you did. Okay? So lock in equity. So purchase a price now and look at refinancing if the opportunity exists at a later date. The other thing that you need to do is you got to trust the data and not the headlines. National news right now does not reflect your specific scenario. What's cold in one market could be very hot in another, and opportunities are there in the market. We've seen people, I have people today getting amazing opportunities because there's only a few offers. We're able to get the offer accepted. If rates were lower and we didn't have tariff news, they would be scrambling to get, their offer and paying well over list price. You have to get very hyper local and have a team that knows the insights for that area that can give you the data to make informed decisions. Okay. So if you want a personalized action plan, reach out to me directly. Okay. I will walk you through a very detailed process. All of the work that we do up front is going to help you have a much better process. So I appreciate you taking the time to watch this. If you found this video helpful, do me a quick favor. Make sure you hit that like button or subscribe for weekly updates that will cut through a lot of the noise and help you make smart moves in today's market. If you're thinking about buying or selling, my team is one phone call away. We are available 7 days a week from 7 in the morning to 11 o'clock at night. I offer personalized strategy sessions with me personally to go through all this data on your specific market and work with your realtor to help get your offer accepted. My job is to make your offer stand out over everybody else's. So just click the link in the description or comment below and I will reach out and we will put a personalized plan together. Tell me in the comments, what is the one thing that's got you watching the market right now? And I will make sure that I follow up with you and make sure we address that. So don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video with more real talk, real data, real solutions for the real estate in 2025.